Hi, my name's Hailey Brookins, and my project is the long-term impacts of the Green Phoenix Farm, Gaps in Data Collection Methodology. I did this research with another student, but I will be presenting on it alone today. Wasatch Community Gardens is a nonprofit that creates and supports community gardens in Salt Lake City, Utah. The Green Phoenix Farm is one of Wasatch Community Gardens' many properties. It is a 1.4-acre urban farm, and it's a job training program for low-income mothers and women facing homelessness. The women who go through the Green Phoenix program work a paying job on the farm. They also participate in mentoring and community building activities that provide access to important resources like housing and counseling. The women also attend weekly training nights that teach skills like resume building, interviewing, and navigating the legal system. On average, the Green Phoenix program serves 16 women per year. The Green Phoenix and other urban farms use parallels between the growth of plants and the growth of people. The first stage of the Green Phoenix program focuses on sprouting and growing seeds, and this process is a perfect analogy for what the women are doing in the start of the program as they start to build a community and establish their goals. At the end of this stage, the women run a sale during which they sell a majority of their seedlings. During the next stage of the program, the women grow produce to distribute to the community. This process is imperative because the women get to be a part of giving back, which program coordinators describe as a really empowering transition for women facing homelessness. In talking with one of the graduates of the Green Phoenix program, we learned firsthand the impact of the giving process. The woman we talked with described providing produce for others as one of her favorite parts of her time at the Green Phoenix. The original goal of our project was to conduct a cost analysis of the Green Phoenix program to determine how their costs and outcomes compare to other state-run programs. If the Green Phoenix can provide the cost effectiveness of their program, they will likely gain access to new funding resources. In 2018, Utah spent around $100 million on programs related to homelessness. After these expenditures, the state hired auditors to determine the effectiveness of the programs. Unfortunately, due to poor data and inadequate information systems, auditors were unable to answer questions about the effectiveness of homelessness programs in Utah. This lack of data collection and analysis makes it difficult to determine the cost effectiveness of homeless programs across Utah, because even though we know how much the state is spending per year, the results of these spendings are unclear. So we wanted to know the answers to questions like, how many people who moved through these programs found stable housing and employment, and which programs had the lowest recidivism rates? But that data is not being collected by the state of Utah or by programs designed to serve their homeless population. According to the state of Utah, in 2018 and 2019, there were 9,512 and 8,963 unsheltered people, respectively. One of Utah's primary goals is to make homelessness non-recurring, but 42.36 and 41.59% of people who had found permanent housing returned to homelessness in 2018 and 2019, respectively. The Green Phoenix receives $120,000 per year from the state of Utah, so they spend around 0.12% of what the state is spending on homelessness. They serve on average 16 women per year, which comes out to around $7,500 per woman per year. The state of Utah in 2018 spent $100 million and served 13,570 people, which comes out to around $7,400 per person per year. While the costs seem very comparable at face value, state programs consist mostly of emergency and traditional housing, which have been found to be highly ineffective in the long term. We hypothesized that programs like the Green Phoenix that focus on job training, mental and physical well-being, and providing access to resources like legal counseling and Medicaid are likely more successful at helping participants find stable, long-term housing and employment. After realizing that we couldn't conduct a thorough cost analysis due to poor data, and that the question we were really interested in is how the program impacts its participants, we formulated a new research question. How can the Green Phoenix Farm measure their long-term impacts on their participants? To answer this question, we interviewed other urban farms across the United States that have social missions. We reached out to 16 organizations, made contact with several, and have been able to interview 3 so far: the Tiger Mountain Foundation, the Metro Atlanta Urban Farm, and the Homeless Garden Project. We asked them several questions, including, do you track information about your participants after they leave your organization? If so, how do you find this information in a professional and non-invasive way? To briefly summarize each urban farm for context, the Tiger Mountain Foundation is a nonprofit based out of Phoenix, Arizona. They support several community gardens and also run an agri-landscape initiative. They aim to provide job training, social and economic mobility, and community nourishment through growing produce. The Metro Atlanta Urban Farm is a nonprofit organization out of College Park, Georgia, 15 minutes outside of the heart of downtown Atlanta. They address the problem of food insecurity by providing naturally grown produce to people in their community. The Metro Atlanta Urban Farm includes a 5-acre farm where employees and volunteers grow produce year-round, and a smaller community garden where low-income families and other residents can grow their own produce. They have several community programs that include a leadership training program, healthy food preparation classes, gardening lessons, and several more. The Homeless Garden Project is also a nonprofit and is out of Santa Cruz, California. Like the Green Phoenix Farm, they offer a job training program that is combined with other counseling resources to help people who are experiencing homelessness find stable housing and employment. Trainees at the Homeless Garden Project spend most of their time doing work on the farm, but also receive support through resume building and mock interviews and a job series program. Many of the people who come to work at and volunteer at farms like Tiger Mountain, the Metro Atlanta Urban Farm, the Homeless Garden Project, and the Green Phoenix are facing systemic oppression through poverty and cycles of incarceration. Some struggle with substance abuse or a lack of access to rehabilitation. And we are interested in how successful these urban farms are at empowering their participants. Our questions are, is urban farming a successful method for helping people who are facing homelessness find stable housing and employment? And how can we use metrics to answer this question? In all of the conversations we had, one shared value became extremely clear. While all these farms with social missions recognize the importance of growing produce, their primary concern is with the empowerment of people who engage with their programs. So while Ian and I learned a lot about the wide range of data collection possibilities for the Green Phoenix, we decided to focus on designing a data collection methodology for tracking the outcomes of these programs on their participants. What we found is that all of the urban farms we talked with have experienced the challenges of measuring their social impacts, and each has their own way of addressing these challenges. Tiger Mountain Foundation, the Metro Atlanta Urban Farm, and the Green Phoenix Farm all share the experience of participants returning to their campuses and sharing their success stories. People return to share their successes with GEDs, employment, and stable housing. That people return years after leaving these programs to share their appreciation speaks volumes about the impactfulness of urban agriculture. However, without a method to track these impacts, it is hard to prove the large-scale and long-term effectiveness of the programs. We combined the feedback from the 3 urban farms we interviewed and created a list of recommendations for the Green Phoenix Farm to improve their data collection methodology. Firstly, we are encouraging program managers to append their current entry form, called an action plan, to include information about housing and employment history and other sources of income. Not only will this help them gain a more thorough understanding of each participant's history, but it also provides a good metric that can be used to measure changes over time. Next, we recommend the Green Phoenix, in collaboration with social workers and the Homeless Garden Project, design a matrix form that will be completed when participants first arrive, a few times throughout their program, and periodically after they leave. This matrix covers a wide range of topics, including transportation, family and friend relations, life skills, community involvement, and legal standings. Each question in the matrix has a qualitative section where participants can write notes about responses. Each question also has a quantitative section where participants rate their answers on the same scales each time. By asking the same questions throughout and after the program, the Green Phoenix will be able to track and quantify the effects of their program on each woman's life. Next, we recommend that the Green Phoenix start hosting monthly alumni events. Firstly, these events could improve program outcomes as people continue building community and friendships. Also, they're a good way to encourage participants to stay in contact with the farm. One of the biggest roadblocks to the data collection methodology we are suggesting is staying in contact with participants, especially for people experiencing homelessness. Addresses, emails, and phone numbers change often, so it can be really hard to reconnect after they leave the farm. If past participants continue feeling actively welcomed, asking them to fill out the matrix sheet and tracking their personal growth and stability will be much easier. Next, we recommend that the Green Phoenix start entering all of this data for each participant into a software called Apricot. Apricot was designed to help nonprofit organizations track the data that they're interested in and can be used for analysis and modeling. Having participant data entered into this software or a similar one will make it easier for program managers to find answers to the questions about how participants are doing, what areas need more energy, and how participants' well-being has changed over time. Lastly, we encourage the Green Phoenix to continue their work of building a network of small urban farms with social missions. Even in very short conversations, it became very obvious that the people who manage these farms are extremely passionate about the work that they do. The farms we talked with are excited about using collaboration as a tool for process improvement, as sharing experiences and methodology can lead to more robust program outcomes. Our project is not yet complete. We are hoping to talk with more farms, as more collaboration almost certainly would lead to a more robust methodology. When it is finished, we hope the Green Phoenix can implement some of these recommendations as they start to build their capacity. Because the primary mission of the Green Phoenix is to empower women to find stable housing and employment, using this methodology would allow the Green Phoenix to track how well their program is achieving its primary goals. With this data, the Green Phoenix could find and address any gaps in their program, track their long-term impacts on their participants, and potentially improve their access to funding. Here is a list of our references so far. And this is my contact information. Please feel free to send me an email if you have any questions or if you're interested in our final report. Thank you.